What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Today we are reviewing episode 4 titled The Whole World is Watching. And indeed, the whole world was watching in this episode today. And as we start also, let's all raise our glasses, our cups, our jugs, or whatever, and just say, screw John Walker. Let's just raise our glasses or mug, whatever you got, raise them to the roof and say, screw that man, he sucks. As of course you've all seen the episode, so you know what I'm talking about, so yeah. Also, apologies about the closer setup for the review this time around, because for some reason, I don't know why, the ceiling light in my room is casting this one light streak on the camera. I don't know why. I've never seen it happen ever before. It's really annoying, so apologies for the closer camera zoom in thing. It's not that big a deal, but to me it's annoying because I don't know why it's doing that. Whatever. Anyways, so yeah. So this episode, I think maybe my favorite episode so far, because I mean I really enjoyed episode 2, but I think this one was a lot better, just where it go as it went along and where it ends, it's really good. I liked last week's episode, but as I said, it was I didn't like last week's episode as much as the first two. There was something about it I wasn't liking as much as the last two, but this one was I think a bit of an improvement, because it was a bit of a roller coaster of stuff happens in this episode. So where to begin? So of course it starts off where it leaves off where, of course, last episode where we saw, of course, Bucky runs into Io from Wakanda, one of the Dora Milaje, and we see this sequence where we see from 6 years ago, so it would be about 2017, where he's in Wakanda, of course, and they're now helping to get the Winter Soldier programming out of his head. And it's for this episode, everyone's talking about how great Wyatt Russell's acting was as John Walker in the episode. I'm not seeing a lot of people really talk about Sebastian Stan's acting in this one opening scene of the episode, because it's really great, because for I guess this might be, I'm not sure if this sequence was happening after that after-credits scene in Black Panther of him and Shuri, or beforehand, I don't know. But in this sequence, of course, Io's with him, and they're far away from Wakanda, just in case something does go wrong, so they're far away from it, so they're attacking one, where Shin starts reciting the code words to activate the Winter Soldier, so Freight Car, 17, Homecoming, all that stuff, just see to make sure that it's fully gone and stuff. And in a sequence where of course, Bucky, he's scared, the first two words she says, she's I don't think it's gonna work, but then, she keeps saying it, she says, trust me, and as you see Bucky, he's just struggling, he's, scared, he's gonna lose it again, become the Winter Soldier again, start hurting her, or going to Wakanda, hurting other people, and you see just him have this series of flashbacks coming at him from the past and stuff, and, you see how he starts breaking down crying as he realizes that he's actually, because he's scared he's gonna revert back to Winter Soldier, but as she keeps saying the code words, nothing happens. And finally, he starts breaking down, happy and crying in tears, because he's fine, he doesn't do anything happen, and she tells him, "You're free now." And honestly, it was a really good scene, just seeing Bucky have that realization that I'm finally free, which it's a really nice. It was a really nice scene. Honestly, I'm not sure why a lot not. I mean, because John Walker's a major part of the episode, what happens with him, but honestly, I'm not sure why a lot of people are not talking much about Sebastian Stan acting there, because it's really good there. It was honestly really great. I think that was one of his best acting scene I've seen in the whole MCU, because it's really good. But going on, of course, everyone else does a great job acting-wise in the episode. John Walker, Wyatt Russell, also excellent. Whereas last episode we were very light on John Walker, he was only really 2 scenes. Here he's in much more of the episode, and he goes on this this slow descent of just being crazy and losing it, and showing more how he really should not have been Captain America. As you see more so, we saw in last few episodes how, he's very rude and with Bucky and Sam, and how he's very and also interrogating the guy, pushing him at the wall, saying, "Do you know who I am?" But now this episode we see more stuff how he's won't take any shit now. Also he's very impatient, no, we got it going now. As Sam's trying to talk down Carly, but he's no, we're going in now. We don't care. In these. He's also not a very great fighter. He gets his butt kicked a lot in the episode. To be fair, he was going up against Carly Morgenthau, who has Super Soldier Serum, and Dora Milaje, who are just 10 times advanced in most fighting skills. So but still, he gets his ass kicked a lot. So, and it's just a slow descent of kind of him going nuts a bit, seeing how being impatient, and also saying to Bucky how, man, it must be so easy for you just having that Super Soldier stuff. Just pumping through your veins constantly. It must be so easy. He starts thinking he's a bit jealous. Even when the Dora Milaje kick his butt, he's even starting to go a bit they weren't even Super Soldier and they whooped their asses. He's starting to kind of lose it a bit. And of course, as the episode goes on, you know, Zemo catches up with Carly Morgenthau and finds her super soldier stuff, and he of course starts smashing it and stuff. But he gets knocked out by John Walker by throwing the shield right to his head, which, like, jeez, that's definitely a concussion he got. But of course, Walker finds one vial of super soldier serum left and takes it, and he later in the episode, of course, we see that he used it because now he can just like super punch people and like bend steel and stuff. So like, which is not good, which leads to like, of course, the big thing that happens in the episode is his partner Lamar Hoskins, Battlestar, gets killed by Carly. She punches him so hard he goes flying and hits a not steel pole, I'm saying, a stone pole, and like his back and head hit super hard, and he just dies on the spot right there, which makes Walker go nuts. He goes like, I'm done with this stuff now, charges out the window and chases down one of the super soldier people, those flag smashers, and chases him down. And he wasn't the one who killed Lamar, it was Carly, but he doesn't care. He just like starts beating him with the shield to the point where he just decapitates him, and you see that just a massive blood smear on his shield, and everyone around him is recording it now, and you're just kind of, and he has no remorse in his face. He just looks around like, and you're kind of just watching, going like, God damn, you suck, and like, whoa. It's definitely one. I mean, they don't show the decapitation, of course, because it's Disney, and there's not a lot of blood. I mean, there's a lot of blood, so it's kind of. I mean, they showed decapitation in Endgame, so it's kind of weird. I mean, I guess because in Endgame, it's more like, I guess because you're decapitating Thanos, who's like, I guess, an alien, and it's not. It was a CGI character, so it's not really. It was also very quick, so it's not as grim. This one's much more depicted as grim. It's like he's using a shield to like cut a guy's, like a real person's head off. So like, I guess that's like where they kind of draw the line a bit. Like, okay, Thanos, yes. This guy, no. But I mean, it's honestly, it's insane. Like, Wyatt Russell's acting in the whole episode was very good. Like, just seeing his like descent going down, like, it was really good. And that ending was like quite a shocker. Like, I don't know where it's gonna. I'm not sure. Like, I'm predicting that the government will then say, "All right, John, no more Captain America for you to give us the shield back." But my theory is that they'll ask him to turn the shield in because they're like, okay, we can't have Captain America being like vicious like that. Like, that's ridiculous. But he'll probably just say, no, screw you guys, I am Captain America, this is all I ever wanted, because he talked about in the episode how, you know, because he fought in Afghanistan, and he got awarded for 3 medals and stuff for, like, stuff he did, but, like, he said that to Lamar that the stuff we did to earn those medals we're not really proud of, and it wasn't really great stuff we did, but, you know, being Captain America is the first time I've ever felt like I'm doing something that feels right. So, you understand that this means a lot to him, so I feel like they'll probably ask him to return the shield, and he'll be like, nope, and he'll like go on the run and become, you know, maybe he'll become U.S. agent like in the comics by that way, and maybe he'll turn the suit black. I mean, maybe after the show ends, if he doesn't get killed, which I hope he doesn't get killed, I will like to see him stick around a bit more. Maybe then he'll like make a black suit and stuff like in the comics. So I don't know, but I'm very curious to see what happens next with him. And more interesting stuff with like, you know, Sam and Bucky and Zemo. Like, it's cool seeing like. They talk more about different ideologies and, like, the viewpoints in the MCU, like, about super soldiers, how, like, Zemo talks about the world's always going to be kind of uneasy and unnerved to the idea of super soldiers, and how, like, they're kind of, and Carly's a supremacist and stuff, like, they're all, you know, the super soldier serum just always makes people kind of bad and such, so it makes them all, there's never really a good one, and Bucky says how, like, well, there's Steve Rogers, he didn't go bad, and it's like, touche, but there's only ever been one Steve Rogers. Which makes a good point. I even saw a thing on Twitter of someone saying, like, with that quote saying, there's only ever been one Steve Rogers, and showing the clip of, like, you know, him lifting Mjolnir, so which, that's very true, there's never been anyone like Steve, and as we can see, like, and even there a point that Lamar makes in the episode when he's talking to John, how, he said that the super soldier serum just makes you more of what you already are, which is very true, because Carly, like, is a person who's, like, angry at the system right now and wants to, like, change it, so, like, that's what super soldier serum's making her kind of do, is helping her with that aggression. John is just kind of like jealous of the power and wants more and kind of going nuts to get the job done and crazy of it, so that's what the serum does to him. But for Steve Rogers, it was kind of like he was just a good person through and through from to the bottom of his heart, so the serum just amplified him to do better, to make him the best person he possibly could be to help save the world and such, which, you know, it's all very interesting. I like seeing all these conversations talking about how, you know, the viewpoint on super soldiers and like, you know, Zemo makes comparisons to also how, you know, when people, oh god, what's the right word to use again? Actually, give me a sec. Okay, just quickly rewatch that one scene. He said how like warped aspirations lead to stuff like the Nazis and Ultron and the Avengers also, which leads to a funny line where like Sam's like, "Hey, that's our friends you're talking about," and Bucky's like, "The Avengers, not the Nazis." But like also like Zemo makes a lot of great points about this stuff because like like last episode, they made a good point about how Red Skull and Captain America ideology is not the same, but what they kind of were very similar. People put them on pedestals and follow them and such, so like very similar. And he's saying how like all this stuff with them, so it's very. I like hearing all this stuff and saying how like he keeps talking about in the episode how super soldiers should not be a thing; they should be wiped out and such and everything. So it's very interesting, but it's really cool. And also there's also the Dormilaje fight that happens with John Walker and Falcon and Sam. No, what? No, Falcon and Bucky. I said Falcon and Sam. No, that's one person. Also a great fight. Also showing more of how John's very cocky, kind of full himself a bit. Like, excuse me, I'm Captain America, but they don't care. Excuse me. And but yeah, it's a really great fight scene showing. Because we've seen how fast Dormilaje are, so it's not that much of a surprise, but it's great seeing how, like, Cocky's like, let's talk this out, and Sam's like, dude, you're not going to last minute in a fight with them, which he doesn't. They kick his ass quite thoroughly, and Sam's like, Bucky, should we do something about this? And Bucky's like, yeah, you got it, John, you're getting there. He's just not caring, but Sam's like, no, come on, man. And so they do, which leads to one scene where, like, because Bucky's new arm is a vibranium arm from Wakanda, of course, and then Io is able to like just completely what's the word now? Shoot. This arm, that's not, I've completely forgotten the word I'm trying to think of now, damn it. Or she managed to like, I just had the word again, damn it. Or she managed to like, I keep having, the word's on the tip of my tongue, I swear to God. It's like, she managed to like, whatever, you know what I mean, the episode, of course, does something to the arm which makes it chop and fall off his body, and like, of course, Bucky then gives her this look, which I didn't notice at first, but other people on Twitter were pointing out how, in that look, Bucky realizes that, no one's ever really trusted him, like, even though he's no longer the Winter Soldier, even still, there's still not exactly trust there a bit, because even the Wakandans who fixed him, put in a failsafe in his arm to, like, shut it off and like have it fall off him. So like, which I didn't notice that at first, but people point out to me on Twitter. I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that actually is a good point. That's quite sad actually. It's really sad. Even still, no trust of it, which is horrible. So yeah, that's one thing. But also stuff with Carly and the Flag Smashers where Sam tries talking her down and saying how and we see Sam actually does kind of agree a bit. Doesn't fully agree, but he does see why she's doing these things. Like, I get it, because, like, during the blip, still hate that name, but during the blip, because there were so many few people, like, borders of countries were, like, non-existent at this point. People were kind of just, like, happy to have anyone around. Like, they didn't care who came to their country at this point, because they're, like, we're just happy to have people around that help out and such, which is very true. But, of course, when everyone came back 5 years later, of course, things went back to normal. The governments came back into power, and different countries went back to where they were. So now people got displaced, the government was focusing more on the people that just came back rather than people that stuck around. So he does see, because Sam, of course, experienced some of that crap in the first episode where he wanted a bank loan for him and his sister's boat, but of course they wouldn't give it to him because, he was a person who just came back or something like that, whatever. So all that stuff, so he understands why she's doing this stuff, but of course the way she's going about it is not the right way. And he almost does have her, but of course John Walker comes in saying, you're done, or we're going to take this over now. And of course, just always ruin it. But Carly does actually, like, legitimately, doesn't hate Sam. Even says, I don't want to kill you guys. Like, I want to kill Captain America because I will send a signal to the people. Which, like, that's pretty dark. But it's not about how she doesn't want to kill Sam. Like, she says, like, she offers him to join her because his talk of her did, like, reach her a bit. He's like, okay, I see you do share my sentiments a bit, so join me and we can do this better. So, like, I find that very interesting, the viewpoints there, of course. So, all very interesting in this episode, honestly. I think Mr. Sunday Movie said it best in his review. It's kind of like a slow burn episode, which I really dug. Because, like, it slowly burned, doing a lot of great stuff, and it led up to some great stuff near the end with, like, Walker and all those payoffs. Like, it's really insane. So, I can't wait to see where we go next week then, because we do have 2 episodes left now in the season, so I'm really curious to see where we go from here, because, like, you know, Zemo's still on the run, we have not met the Power Broker yet, and Walker's now going crazy. Oh yeah, Sharon Carter's now been was sidelined a bit more for this episode. She did have, like, has Maxim 2 quick scenes, and she does help out Sam and Bucky stuff. She has her own satellites tracking John. I'm very curious to see what with her. I'm not really getting a good read on what's happening with her and her part of the story. I know there's some theories that she could be the Power Broker. I really doubt that. I mean, she definitely has some secret thing going on, but I really doubt she's the Power Broker. I don't think that's gonna happen, honestly. So, but who knows? I also forgot to mention the fight sequences in the episode. Like, the Dora Milaje fight was awesome, but all the fighting was awesome. Like, near the end, it got, like I said, it got very gritty. Like, how there was a lot of close calls with, like, knife throwing and stuff. It got very gritty and just, like, rough. Like, it reminded me a lot of Daredevil. Like, I mean, like, it wasn't exactly like Daredevil's fight sequence, because this is more proper MCU, there's a lot more, like, quick cuts and fighting. But not all the time, though, in this episode. There were still a lot of fights that were, like, you know, had some, like, good timing, good reflexes and whatnot, whatever I'm trying to say. But it reminded me of Daredevil, how brutal and, like, very close some of the pits were. Like, it reminded me of Daredevil a lot. Which made me kind of go like, man, I want Daredevil back so bad. But give us Daredevil back. Give us another season, guys. Bring Charlie Cox back and Vincent D'Onofrio. We need those guys back. Like, you can't replace them. I think they're definitive as those characters. Don't do it. So, but the fight scenes are really quite great in this episode. And, yeah, honestly, what else am I forgetting to mention? Oh, yeah, also how, of course, one of Carly's Flag Smasher friends refers to her as, like, kind of the new Captain America and such. How, like, you're what we need now as a Captain America. You're, like, someone who's like the rest of the people, who can represent them better than these kind of government people, like John Walker is now. And she says, even she says how that shield represents a bygone era that's not good, so I'd rather just destroy it. So, very similar sentiment she shared with Sam a bit, so it's very interesting how, she's not quite, no, she kind of is, because she did kill some people, but still, but yeah, you do see what, like I said before, you do see why she's doing this, but again, just her ways are misguided a bit, similar to Killmonger. Like, you see his methods, like, why he wants to do is for good reason, but the methods about it are not good, similar here, so, like, I'm really digging this show, honestly. I think, for this episode, I would say maybe 9 out of 10, probably. I think, like, my most major thing I'll nitpick at was, I mean, they clearly did decapitate that guy at the end, because later on, you know, they were very careful when filming the scene, not showing the guy's head on the body. But, of course, there's one part in it, like, where you see, like, shots of his point of view being, like, cut. Well, not, you see a shot of the guy's head while he's, like, smashing him, but it didn't really look like there was any, like, damage or blood on him at all, which I guess maybe that's probably a Disney thing where you can't show a lot of blood. I don't know, it's a weird nitpick, but it's my only real gripe with the episode. But, yeah, honestly, I really dug this episode. All the performances are great, all the characters, awesome, fight sequences incredible, some just stellar moments in the episode, honestly. My favorite episode so far, we'll see episodes 5 and 6, change that. I really dug it. I'm really digging this show. Like, I'm liking it more than WandaVision. I did like WandaVision, but like I said, like, the final episode of that show kind of let it down a bit, so. But I'm really digging more so the storyline about the ideology about the Captain America and the mantle and the shield, and, like, all their viewpoints are showing and stuff, like how America treats, like, you know, black people and a bunch of other things as well. Like, it's saying how the world treats the displaced people, like people that came back from the snap and stuff. Like, I'm really digging all the storylines they're doing in this show. It's quite good. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna be all wrapped up soon. We only have 2 episodes left, so we have next week we have the penultimate episode. So that should be good. I'm really excited to see what happens next and what kind of fight we'll see with Bucky, Sam, and John, because that'll definitely happen. We're definitely gonna see a fight. So yeah, but yeah, 9 out of 10. Thank you all for watching. Tell me in the comment section down below what did you think of the episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys later for next week for an episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So yeah, see you guys all later. Goodbye.